offers no room for doubt. Parables drop stronger than gold faucets. Souls hydrated from divine prophets. Study the book, change perspectives. Carefully crafted, not too subjective. A year to reflect, learning perfect. Patterns of grace that time can't deflect. Old Testament drops deep and so real. Kings and warriors, covenant seals. Split that Red Sea, divine reveal. Commandments written, not made of steel. Bethlehem birth to cross on the hill. Unfolding the Nabi blessings, pastor with skill. Scripture flip, every verse fulfilled.
Through the word, every verse, every chapter, nothing unheard. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed. Yo, online sermons, holy vibes delivered. Spreading light, got the sinners reconsidered. Psalm to psalm, man's like a holy DJ. Flipping through scripture, repping the Yahweh. Your emotes in the chat, praising the message. Flat cap on point, teaching eternal lessons. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed. Digital pulpit, preaching like a pro. Followers grow as the faith overflow. Keyboard clicks, holy words they stick. Raining blessings down with a slick rhyme trick. Virtual congregation, united in devotion. 1 year strong, a spiritual promotion. He's a life coach with divine instructions. Streaming holiness, no room for interruption. Flat cap changed the game, new pastoral fame. Virtual shepherd, he's embracing the mainframe. In the comments, affirmatives and amens. With each Goliath tackled, faith extend. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. Yo, online sermons, holy vibes delivered. Spreading light, got the sinners reconsidered. Psalm to psalm, man's like a holy DJ. Flipping through scripture, repping the Yahweh. Your emotes in the chat, praising the message. Flat cap on point, teaching eternal lessons. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. Digital pulpit, preaching like a pro. Followers grow as the faith overflow. Keyboard clicks, holy words they stick. Raining blessings down with a slick rhyme trick. Virtual congregation, united in devotion. 1 year strong, a spiritual promotion. He's a life coach with divine instructions. Streaming holiness, no room for interruption. Flat cap changed the game, new pastoral fame. Virtual shepherd, he's embracing the mainframe. In the comments, affirmatives and amens. With each Goliath tackled, faith extend. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. 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 Digital pulpit, preaching like a pro. Followers grow as the faith overflow. Keyboard clicks, holy words they stick. Raining blessings down with a slick rhyme trick.
Flat cap pastor dashing through pages. Chronicles, Gospels, prophets, sages. Leviticus, laws to pause, find phrases. Turning them corners, your spiritual mazes. Genesis to Revelation, so divine. Flip them scripts, endless grace you'll find. Psalms singing sweet, unbroken lines. Hitting that rhythm, wordplay refined. Anybody in here blessed? Anybody in here blessed? Bible in 1 year, we don't rest. Anybody in here blessed? Wake up early, the dawn's light shimmers. Spiritual breakfast, soul food dinners. Isaiah's vision, Ezekiel's figures. Walk through the fire, no one limbers. Kings and judges, prophets profound.
Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. We are back. And we're doing a collab. So, oh wow, that was a loud alert there. I'm not sure what was that alert for. Oh, you redeemed a spot of tea. Is that what it was?
Mm-hmm.
There we go. A spot of tea. A spot of tea. We're doing Earl Grey all day. Earl Grey all day, baby.
How many different types of tea do you drink? Like other than the like in the morning, how often and what types?
Oh, it's an interesting question. Well, when I've done the Streamiversary stuff, I brought the teas down here, and that number keeps expanding. So I've got my two go-tos, which are Earl Grey and English breakfast. After that, let's see, I'm just thinking through what I have currently. I've got Blueberry Merlot, which is a really nice, it's got fruits in there. So I don't drink that in the morning because I'm still fasting and I don't want to have anything sweet. I also have a blueberry or a berry medley, which is similar from the same company, which is really nice. I have chamomile. I have hibiscus. I've got lavender. Now, the lavender I harvested myself. I've got nettle and thistle. Those I harvested myself. And I blend those together.
Like a garden or something for that?
No, thistle and nettle are weeds. So my daughter has farmland around her place, and so the weeds just grow rampant. So I just went out there and harvested a bunch of those weeds and use them for tea. They're good for digestion, and they have other health benefits if you go look them up. I don't remember what they are, but I've got those that I mix together with some flavors. The lavender, I have lavender underneath my blueberry bushes in the front yard, so I harvest my own lavender. I got saffron, which is another flower. I've done goldenrod. I need to harvest some more goldenrod this year. I haven't harvested that. That I have some in my yard, but I also will have to go around and search for that in a few places to harvest that. So I like getting some natural things that are in my community because I think that there's a benefit of if you're eating things in your community to have anything that it's being combated in your local neighborhood kind of a thing. I don't have any echinacea, although I planted some echinacea. I'm not sure the way to harvest echinacea from the flowers to make tea, so I might need to look into that. I might have some I could harvest if I did that. Let's see, what else do I have? I've got two different varieties of green tea. I'd have to go look at what they are. I don't remember the names of them. I've got two right now. I've got, well, my wife drinks a mushroom tea. I don't usually drink that one because it's in a tea bag, and they did not sell it in a bigger loose leaf for the mushroom. I've looked into it, but I haven't got any more of that. I've got, well, I used to have sumac, which is also something I could go harvest. So, like, so we just keep going down this trail. I've got turmeric ginger, which is a really nice blend. Then there's
Do you have to buy these like in a certain website or something, or do you? I personally don't drink tea or coffee, but or do you like start saving stuff and kind of mix it in yourself sometimes if you have what you need?
Yeah, I go out several times throughout the year and try to harvest things when I see them and can get them. So it's like I said, some I've harvested myself, others I just buy. Like chamomile is one I could harvest myself, but I'd have to plant it and then harvest it. And I've tried to plant, but I haven't got enough to make it worth the time to harvest. The same with echinacea, hasn't worked out that way yet. Plus echinacea, I got to look into what do I actually harvest on there because it's like a big ball kind of flower that's left afterwards. I don't know if you break that open. I've got to investigate that one a little more. But some I just buy. So I buy a lot of them on Amazon. So one brand that I buy is Vadam, which sells straight through Amazon from India. So the guy that owns the plantation there, he's third generation, owns the plantation, sells through Amazon so that your tea doesn't sit in a warehouse for months and even years before the tea gets to you. So he sells straight through there, cuts out the middleman, and I can get that tea, and it's super fresh. It's really good stuff. And then I buy probably 3 or 4 different brands off of Amazon. One is in the U.S. I got a Sleepy Time tea that I get from them. That's where I got the chamomile from. They do, and that's where I started learning about some of these other ones. Like, oh, I could just harvest that and brew it myself rather than having to buy tea. But sometimes there's a trade-off of how much time do I have, how much access do I have to go foraging for this. Is it easier to just buy things? And that's where hibiscus I probably could forage for. I just didn't have, easy access to go find that flower and then harvest and dry it and do all of that. Where lavender, super easy. I walk up my front yard. I spend 10 minutes harvesting, put it in my greenhouse to dry, and boom, I've got all the lavender I want. So there's probably more varieties that I have besides that, but I'm just not thinking of what they are. Oh, I've got chai, and I've got, there's a South American drink. What is it called? Yerba mate. I have yerba mate. So it's not a true tea, just like the flowers aren't true teas. But it's another one that it's interesting. I don't usually do that one on stream. There's a special cup that you do. You pour it in there. You just keep pouring water in, and then you drink through either a divider that keeps the tea leaves and everything and all the twigs out of the water so you're not drinking them, or you use a straw that has that on the bottom. And I've got the system with the straw. So that one, you'll keep pouring the hot water in, and you'll keep drinking it as you're going. Mama Barracorn. It's a sifter. Is that what it's called? Okay. I wasn't sure on the straw what you would call that. So, you know what? Let me start background music here, too. So we've got something else playing there.
Yeah. When I stream, I like to try to have something, or I want to try to set something up for that, because some of the games I play always have music. Other ones, like Stardew Valley, don't. There can be periods where it's like quiet for a long time.
Yeah. Well, that's where it's just like if we both pause suddenly and then there's dead air, I was like, oh, let's just put the music in the background. That'll help.
Yeah.
So Mama Barracorn, or straw with a filter, straw with a sifter. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know if that was a special thing. Hey, Romans, what's up, buddy? So those that don't know that have just come in, so Supersonic Saved by Grace has saved up channel points so that we can do a collab together. So we're hanging out chatting. We were just chatting about all of the varieties of tea that I have. Inquiring minds want to know. And so I've got quite a few. We were just running those down and then talking about the fact I harvest some of my own tea. So you heard Stardew Valley?
Yeah.
Yep.
I stream a little bit. Sometimes Stardew Valley, but I'm kind of weaning my way off of that.
Christopher, welcome in.
I've got like one season left of Stardew, and then I don't have anything left to do in it.
Yeah.
I've reached the point where there's nothing left.
A high and low again, Christopher, and Christopher redeeming the no cap, which is a little bit harder when I have the headset on. But give me a second. There we go. We'll start the timer. And I was wearing my dark blue. I don't know how well you can see that that's a dark blue. It's not always fun playing Stardew Valley alone. Okay.
I do like, yeah, I usually play it alone, to be honest. With not that much left to do in it, I kind of just decided I'll go one more season so I can save up to get the golden clock, and that costs 10 million.
Oh wow!
And then after that, there's nothing left to do in the game. So because I've gotten 100% perfection, I'm at 90%. Clock town says 10.
Okay.
And then after that, I'll probably move to Fields of Mistra, though. That's what I'm thinking about.
We got to redeem for a Bible joke here. And yeah, thank you that I look. You think I look good on both situations? Thank you. I don't know. I feel, like I'm missing something without a hat. But yeah. Oh, you haven't got 100% perfection yet. Yeah, that's quite an astounding 100% perfection. All right, here we go with some Bible jokes. I hate to even say this one. Which book of the Bible contains an ugly woman? Which book of the Bible contains an ugly woman? Supersonic saying Ruth. No. All right. Just a reminder on those that usually are saying contains. When we've had other jokes this way, there's something in the name that you need to think of. So, okay, we'll go on to a second one while you're thinking about that. You know what, I'm just looking at my settings here, and it looks like, am I doubling back through? No, it doesn't look like I'm doubling back through. Okay. Second one, while you're still contemplating the first one. Who was the man who had no father? Who was the man who had no father? I think this would be there's a different way to tell this joke, but I'm reading it from the book. Who was the man who had no father? So you got two jokes there. Which book of the Bible contains an ugly old woman? Oh, Mama Bearcorn guessing Jesus. Oh, I get what you're thinking there. I get what you're thinking. He does have a father. Yeah, he does have a father. But I get what you were thinking. Ooh, Christopher guessing Esther. No. But you're out, you know.
I don't think Esther was ugly.
No. Definitely not. Definitely not. But just trying to put a woman's name there is I think what he was going for. Well, you said it was in the name, so, and you were guessing Ruth. So we've named the two books that have female names. We're done. That's it. Yeah, Esther was not be ugly. Yeah. Okay. Let me get my sound effects ready.
My parents have a dog. It's a female that's named Kaya.
Oh, okay.
Is it Kaya? Hezekiah for being hesitant?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going in that direction or not.
No, but I like what you're doing there, Hezekiah. I'm trying to remember what we had a cat named something similar to Kaya. It was something else. I don't remember. I think it might have been Kaya, but it was named after another person. Naomi. Ooh. Okay. You ready? Here's the answer. Which book of the Bible contains an ugly old woman? Haggai. Since it has a hag in it, Haggai. Sorry, everybody. I didn't write the jokes. Okay. Yeah, gross. Yeah, it's like, I did not like that joke. I didn't like saying an ugly old woman, by the way. Okay. Who was the man who had no father? That was our second one. I'll give you the third one, and then we'll come back and answer the second one. Which book of the Bible contains a part of the body? Which book of the Bible contains a part of the body? All right, so back to while you're thinking of an answer for that. Who was the man who had no father? It was Joshua. He was the son of Nun. So Joshua, son of Nun. I usually told that one as which man in the Bible had no parents. The problem is you can go with Adam and Eve then, you know? So, that joke isn't as good as it could be, but Joshua was the son of Nun. So, these are kid jokes, everybody, so don't blame me. All right, last one. Anybody got a guess on this one? Which book of the Bible contains a part of the body?
Hello, Newman. Hello, Jerry.
Oh, that's funny. I can actually hear them when I have the headphones on. That's good to know. So which book of the body contains a part of the book of the Bible contains a part of the Bible? So like we were doing with Haggai, there is a part of the body in the name of the book. So if you can figure that out, you'll be much wiser than I. Oh yeah, ooh. I like it. Nehemiah. There we go. Yeah, that would be that is an acceptable answer. It is not the answer in the joke book, but
I was thinking of that, but that was in a different context. Like, who's the shortest? Like,
oh, sorry, I was putting earphones on. I couldn't.
wasn't thinking of it in this context, though.
Oh, yeah. All right, so the answer that they have for which book of the Bible contains a part of the body is Philippians, everybody. And there's the lovely picture that they have for the hag. So, some of the jokes I think should be retired. They're not the greatest, but thank you. There we go. There are redeem from our Ark Book of Riddles, and those that did not hear the story. This is the book that I saved up for and bought when I was a kid, and I memorized, and I kept reading these all over the place, and the book kept disappearing, and then I would go to empty the garbage or throw something away, and there on the top would be my book. I kept thinking as a kid my mom was throwing it away. I have since wondered if it was my sisters who were throwing it away instead of my mom, because I'm thinking now that my mom would have been smarter than to just put it on top. She might have hid it underneath or something. So anyway, there we go. I found it a year or two ago, and I bought it. Oh, sorry, what was that, Supersonic?
At least you were able to save it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I did for several times, and then it finally was eventually gone, and so I had to buy it again. But I don't know. It disappeared, and now I have it, and I'm going... my memory of it is better than the actual book, but... All right, you did have a couple of things that you had sent me that you wanted to talk about for the collab. So we can get started on some of those if you want.
Sure.
So you were asking about why is it more difficult when you get older to get into a good habit, how to get into a good habit of doing something that's hard for keeping a habit.
I've learned a little bit over a little while that, like, I can easily focus on games, and it's like a go-to for me. It's easy for me to just get involved in games when I wake up or when I'm not having much to do. But that's something that is difficult for me to take my mind off of when I have something that of more priority to focus on.
Yeah.
And, like, in some degree, I've been learning a little bit, like, if I want to get into a habit of reading a book, I've been trying to go through the Wingfeather Saga, book 1.
Okay.
Andrew Peterson. And it's like, I want to make it a point to. I want to, like, it feels like you have to enjoy what you look forward to. You're longing to go to the book and be like, I want to read this now. Rather than, like, getting pulled away by, I'm more in the mood to play this, or I'm more in the mood to do this, than to do something productive. And I guess to some degree, like, if you make it a priority, and some of these are specific words to it though, if you make it a priority that you know you have to be at an appointment or at work at a certain time or day, you'll make it a point to be there. Why is it still difficult to make it a point to do something like that when you're on other things, like even recreationally, or saving up money for something that you want rather than just impulse buying even?
Right. Well, on one level, games have rewards in them, which is why they can become really addictive, because there are little things that you accomplish and then it keeps drawing you in to be able to do that. So, or reading the Bible for some people. Yeah. But some things that take discipline, you have to either have a goal and, like you said, yeah, have the discipline to be able to constantly do that. And sometimes you reward yourself for having done the thing that you're going to do. So you need to work in some kind of motivation for what you're doing. So for instance, like I just rode 500 miles in September. The reason I was able to is because I set a goal. I was doing it for another purpose other than myself. I could look out today and go to walk outside and decide it's too cold to ride today. But when I was doing it in September, it wouldn't matter. It's like, no, I have set this. I'm going to do this. So some of the time we need to set a reward system for ourselves or a responsibility to something or someone else to help us do that. And things that don't intrinsically have reward motivation in them, I'll just pick on taking the garbage out. I don't think anybody gets excited about taking the garbage out. Oh my goodness, this is so amazing. It's my turn to go do this. Unless, it's one of those things where you get to burn the garbage and you have fun burning and whatever else if you burn your own garbage. I remember that was fun as a kid to burn the garbage. Now, not so much fun to do garbage. So, but if I struggled with that, for instance, and I had problems with that all the time, or if I was trying to help my kids get motivated to do the garbage, I might say, well, once you take the garbage out, then you'll get to go do something else. So you put something else as a reward for the thing that's difficult to be able to do, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Okay, somebody already did.
Yeah, I was like debating. Yeah, I snoozed the ad. Yeah.
I think, needing to set aside something, focus on, like, it takes sacrifice. It takes discipline and diligence to do, not just say, oh, I want to work on this and then work on it a little bit and then put it off and not really. It's difficult for me in that sense to focus on something of more importance.
Yeah.
That's why I tried to make it a little easier to read. That's why I hid part of the message in specifics.
Right.
But you can
to go back with you were talking about the possibility of learning a new language and practicing it. I just actually was watching a video that was talking about that as a specific idea. I actually was talking about mastery of a skill, and then it talked about learning a new language and why people struggle is they don't give themselves enough time in doing it. But if you spent 10 minutes a day doing that, accumulatively, you're going to get to a place where you're going to know things. So we sometimes think we can't maintain it or we can't get to an achievement level, but you just start where you are and you do practicing of a habit. Like that's where, we're talking about before we got on stream, my plan. So I did all the writing in September, great, with just getting the goal. Well, now I want to make it a regular stream. How do I do that? Well, first I'm going to start with getting it on my schedule 1 day a week, and then 1 day a week that's just a one-off, hey, we're going to stream today and we're going to ride. So that's what my starting is. I can't just stream every day, and I can't just ride every day. So it's, as far as that, if people paid me to do that, I could probably do that. But right now, it's like, no, I've got to fit it in my schedule. So what is a way to start small and build it into a way that becomes a pattern and a habit so that I enjoy it or I get something from it? And that's one way to do it is, I start with 10 minutes a day, get it in my schedule. I can do that. I maintained it, and then I try to increase it. Or I planned for, I don't know what language you're thinking of, but let's just say my plan was to learn Spanish. So I would work on it. I would set a goal and I would plan towards it, and I'd spend so much time doing it. And then I would say, I'm going to set aside money. So when I learn Spanish, I'm going to go on a trip where I can speak Spanish. So maybe it's Mexico, maybe it's Cuba, maybe it's Spain. And then I would set out and go, I'm going to go use it in a place where I can utilize that. So I don't know if that's a helpful thought.
I guess, if you put your mind to something well enough and you really focus on it like that, that'll help you get more interested, more accustomed to wanting to do it.
Yeah.
I was gonna mention this too. I did not message it in the DMs, but I wanted to bring it up anyway. At our church, they have like, I think they're 7-year-olds.
Okay.
Maybe around that age, a little younger, a little older, that are learning Bible quizzing, and they know a lot of good verses and a lot of good points, and it's like for 10, 20, or 30 points, they do a competition thing, and it's like, I was listening into them on Sunday, and I'm like, I don't even know the answer to these. And it's really cool how not only do they know the answer, but they know where to come into the question, because they can interrupt the question.
Oh, yeah.
They're going based on a book, and for half the book one year, half the book for the other year. And it's like, some of it is knowing the answer, some of it's getting quick to the buzzer.
Right.
And for them, like, the only question I was really able to answer of all the ones that they mentioned were like, who were the first 4 disciples that Christ had? James, John, Simon Peter, and Andrew. And
depends on which book of the Bible you're reading from, because John gives a different answer.
One that was not of the normal 12?
No. It would still be the normal 12, but the order has Philip and Nathaniel in there after Peter and Andrew. So James and John are not mentioned in the book of John as coming. You know, ads are coming here. We'll just let the ads roll this time, Supersonic.
You're good.
All right, I'm going to go to fish for those that are still here.
It's really cool to see how they're able to just answer the questions so well.
Oh, yeah.
Because the way they buzz in would be like, what are the first 4? And they already know what they're going to ask.
Dapper man with Saxon hand.
Some of them are quotation questions, so it's like you have to know word for word. Can't even get one word wrong. The exact verse and citation, and know the answer that way too.
Yeah. You end up, when you're doing things that way, you would only use one translation, so everyone's using the same one.
Yep. And New Living Translation, I believe they use.
Okay.
With his cam he shows it all. Little fish both big and small. Life in ponds.
Looks like we still got about 30 seconds of ad rolling here.
See the ripples, watch the flow, hear the music.
Fish in the pond today are not very active at all. What I need to be doing is checking the water temperature out there. It's about that time of year where I need to stop feeding the fish in the pond.
To the rhythm of his song. Flat cat.
Do they have sources in which that they can resort to outside of you feeding them?
Oh, they can eat algae or other things that are in the pond, or fish that are, or flies that are around. They can do that.
Hey, Keith.
Hey, welcome in, Keith. Good to see you, friend. I'll come back to it in a second. I missed Mama Barracorns in the chat. You don't get super excited about doing the garbage, but sometimes you look forward to releasing your brother's part of the garbage, and just do both, because his part happens after he gets home from work, and he can be sore. Hey, we got a spot of tea. A spot of tea. A spot of tea. Earl Grey today. Earl Grey all day, I say. Thank you, friend. Appreciate that. So, yeah, we were talking about, learning language and learning things, and how you're able to do that. And it doesn't work for everything. There are some things that are just, hey, I'm going to struggle with this all the time, of whatever it is, of it's difficult, and I've got to do it, and I hate to do it, but like you were talking about going to work. You can go to work and you can set an alarm and you can go through that and do it grudgingly all the time, even if there's no reward for it, because the pain of not doing it also could be detrimental to you. So if I don't show up for work, I lose my job. If I lose my job, I lose my car, I lose my house, I don't have food. So there's sometimes that a negative for not doing something can be the full motivation for why you would end up doing it.
Definitely. But the fact that the kids want to and really enjoy doing their Bible quizzing is what gets them motivated to want to keep going.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's just something we lose vigor of as we get
Well,
older. And
I'll get to your question in a second, Christopher. We also, when we're younger, our brains are much better at memorizing things. So our brains are much more elastic, and rote memorization is much, much easier when you are younger than to do that when you get older. So we have barriers as adults to memorization of things. We can still learn things and we can still put things into practice, but just rote memorization is much more difficult as an adult as opposed to kids whose brains are in a mode of constantly learning as they're growing to make it easier for them to be able to grasp and do all that. I memorized lots of scripture as a kid and had I remember having to memorize and learn so many things, and I got a little pencil sharpener that I really, really wanted, and so I memorized verses to get a pencil sharpener.
Mhm.
All right, Christopher, let's get to your question. This might sound like a stupid question, but why is the political world built on either far left, liberal, or far right when the color scale have so many more nuances? Like, what makes a right wing better than a left wing and vice versa? You're tired of hearing people always blaming people's actions based on the political affiliation when you are in fact have wolves in all corners. I get your point. Let me see if there's anything else you added. If you hurt me for any way, I don't automatically see you as a political activist. You can commit offenses without caring about politics. Oh, absolutely. Just look at the shooter suspect in the Charlie Kirk homicide. He was brought up in a Christian household. Well, absolutely. You can be of any affiliation. And here's one of the things that happens is, and we're really in one of these seasons of echo chambers, like the algorithms give you more of what you are watching. And so right now, if you are on the right side, you're going to get more and more stuff from the right in front of you and reinforcing what you believe. And if you're on the left, the same thing is going to happen. And it's much easier when there's only two, that it's us and the enemy. So you make the other the enemy. And that's one of the reasons why we end up so polarized, is when we make the other person the enemy. We've lost the ability to have a conversation with someone who disagrees with us and then still be friends afterwards. Like, oh, we're going to go out to eat. Yeah, we now think you are the enemy when you're from the opposite side. And depends on what country you're in. The U.S. only really has two main political parties. We've never been able to develop a third party that has viability because of the way our system is set up.
Some places in Europe have way more.
Yeah, some places in Europe, when you have parliamentary systems where you elect people based on the party, and they have so many seats, and then they need to form a government, and out of the winner, they have a prime minister that's picked. But the one other aspect of it is those people that are in the middle are usually focused on life. They're focused on what they're doing. So when you aren't in politics, you're focused on feeding your family, taking care of mom and dad, sick kids, whatever it is. You're just busy about life. You don't have time to focus on politics, or you don't have time to be vocal about politics. So you're just silent. And then there's a whole group of people that just has no interest. that's also silent. So you have people that are really busy that are silent, and you have people.
There's a lot of Christians, like maybe 2 to 3 million Christians that don't even vote in the United States, and it's like,
Oh, there's a lot more than that don't vote.
Yeah, whether it's like 25 people on a smaller accord or all 75 maybe, that 25 is still going to make the decision, but that 75 total could still influence the decision in a much more significant way, even if the result is the same.
Yeah.
Can I share a devotional a little bit on that?
Yeah, if you've got one.
This is from Living in His Light by David Jeremiah for October 10th. God's truth. Stand therefore, having girded your waist with truth. Ephesians 6:14. In recent years, a new phrase has entered the cultural conversation. My truth or your truth have, for many people, replaced the truth. Social media has made it possible for every person to speak his or her truth into the world. This trend is the fallout from the rise of the postmodern worldview that says there is no truth. Instead, truth is in the eye of the beholder. Truth is whatever you say it is. Truth is like the rudder on a giant ship, the thing that keeps the ship on track regardless of how high the waves are or how strong the winds. A life that's not based on true truth, a phrase from Christian philosopher Francis Schaeffer, will be tossed about by life's circumstances like a ship without a rudder. Jesus prayed that God would sanctify believers with his truth, concluding, "Your word is truth," John 17:17. There is no my truth or your truth. There is only God's truth, which is found in his word. There is no better way to gird up the loins of your mind, 1 Peter 1:13, than by meditating on the truth of Scripture. Hang on a second.
Yep. So, Christopher, you were saying something about digital ID. I've not heard anything about digital ID. If you can share more about what that is, because I'm going to guess, but it doesn't mean I will know exactly what you're talking about. And to your question of why do people accept this? Why not change it? There are people trying to change it. However, what ends up happening, in order to get the power to change things, you end up being on one side of the aisle or the other. You end up with the right side trying to change it so that the left can't do things, or you end up on the left side trying to change it so the right can't do things. And it's very hard to change the system that is in place. There are some things that are being worked on at the grassroots trying to make some changes, but it's going to take a long time for that. And a lot of people just throw up their hands and think that nothing can be done. So why bother?
Sorry, I'm back.
So, you back?
I didn't expect a ring at my bell.
Oh.
The person left. We took care of a quick question, but
Okay.
I missed what you were saying in the process. Sorry.
Oh, I was just addressing what Christopher had posted. So, why do people accept this? Why don't they change it? And some of it is there doesn't seem to be a way to change it, or you're trying to change it and you end up being on the right or the left trying to change it because you see the other side as the opposition. And if you need power to change it, you've got to pick one side or the other to try to change from there. And that doesn't help.
Yeah, and some people are hard set in their ways. Like, they don't want to change their mind, or they don't see outside of what they believe and see. And sometimes it's hard to talk to people like that.
Right. If we take two issues that people might want to change or not want to change, is, abortion, and both sides are set on here's how we are, and they're just fighting against that, or gun control. Like, I really wish there was an answer to the violence that we have and the number of school shootings that are going on, but both sides are arguing their positions, and neither one is coming up with anything that's a solution to the problem. So,
sometimes it's just to argue their view rather than listen to the reasoning behind it and be like, does this make sense?
Oh, okay, Christopher. So it's kind of like a social score kind of a thing. So if you have violations, or is it just that they can draw them from your account? They can block you from purchasing food. So it's your digital ID. Because I've heard, is this coming like from what China was doing with like a social score tied to it, that your behavior limits your access to things? Yeah, I would definitely vote that down.
I heard about that. I don't know too many details about it, but I have heard it to be seemingly in the works at least, and it's a problem. It's like going to your local board meetings or going to your local school boards, and it's like sometimes that makes a bigger difference than you might think, that few people, or sometimes somebody tries to pass something without people even knowing what they're passing, and then once it's a thing, they're like, why? What's going on here? And then it's like, we did that months ago. And I'm like, then why didn't you inform us or something on that bunny trail?
Yeah. WeChat users. Yeah, WeChat. Yep. Okay, yeah, I have heard of things like that. And boy, if you end up being the people in power and you're able to say what is not socially not acceptable, there's a Black Mirror episode about that, which is kind of
Mirror?
Huh?
What do you mean Black Mirror?
That's a show.
I don't recognize it.
Oh, that's okay. Can you join the audio as well? Well, let's see. Supersonic, what do you think?
If he wants. I wasn't sure if that was what his thing is, but sure.
Yeah, let me see if I can. Well, I was just asking you because you did the redeem to stream together, so I didn't want to.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Okay. Where do I go to the invite here? Oh, there we go. Maybe.
Because I think what I've learned about your channel is that you don't allow anyone to knock on your channel.
Oh, do I have it set up that way?
To set a favorite or something.
Okay, that could be.
I think at one point I saw you set me as a favorite or something, and that's what has me have a notification every time I join the chat that says, "Oh, hey, do you want to collaborate?"
Ah.
I don't want to interrupt it, but yeah.
Ah, so a favorite just sends you the invite. That's interesting. All right, Christopher, I sent you an invite if you were able to join.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, Black Mirror is a TV show on Netflix that it takes and it supposes social problems and the extreme that these could have going into the future. In as far as doing that, yeah, I have a redeem for a collab. If you want to do that, we could do that sometime. So some of the Black Mirror, I would not suggest people go watch, but there was one where they were talking about this social score and viewing that. They take ethical questions and they play them out into the future in various different ways and weighing through the balance of what would you do in this situation and how might these play out in the future. So if you think about the train scenario of one person on the tracks versus 5 people on the tracks, do you pull the thing and kill one person instead of kill the 5 people? They ask a lot of those things. The invite should have gone to Twitch because we're doing this on the Twitch collab. So you should have saw the invite in a notification on Twitch, I believe.
It should show up where you're like, if you get notifications for a free sub or free drops, It should be in those. Maybe try resending it.
It doesn't let you resend. If you've sent it, it says
Try
you've already
refreshing
sent
the
it.
page.
Well, on the invite guest, it will just tell me that I've already sent it. I don't know if there's another way to do that.
You sent me an invite link in direct messages. Can
Right.
I
don't know that I have Christopher in a direct message chat already in Discord, so can't see the invite. Well, Christopher, how about we just plan on this another time then, where you can... Oh, you got it.
Okay.
There we go.
Got it working? Oh, cool. I was about to copy and paste the...
Hello.
Yeah, we were talking about the social score. It's getting scary to the point where you are so controlled that you cannot really do anything unless your credit is good.
It's like painting a picture on someone that says, if you're not compliant, then we'll put a credit score on you, and if you reach a certain level, we're not going to let you do certain things because you don't agree with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that can also mean that if you post content based on your beliefs, for example, which they don't agree with, they can also withdraw credits from you.
Yeah, because it's in their control of what they can do, not what you have a say in the matter of, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Like they make the rules.
I don't know
if
if
what I mean.
that's already in the States, but...
All right, I've got you up on stream now, Christopher. Good to see you. Good to have you in here. Yeah, that's an interesting thing. One of the things that some countries...
connection issues. I'm gonna switch to Wi-Fi to see if it gets any better. Hold on.
Okay, no problem. I was just going to make the point that one reason a government would want to do this is to control their citizens. So...
No, you sound robotic.
Oh, I sound robotic?
It sounds fine to me, so I'm guessing it's on.
Let me go out and come in again. Hold on.
Okay. I believe Christopher is in Europe, so I don't think that he'll be coming to Reach.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I think I've seen him in the Hopeful Disasters Discord, and I think that's where I was.
Oh, okay.
Connect the dots, and I thought maybe.
Okay.
I've seen him in Born Agains as well.
Yeah, now I can hear you.
All right.
Yep.
There we go.
Yep.
52.
Yeah, I was just thinking that one of the reasons governments would want to do it is to control their citizens. So I know that's one reason China put it into place is if I can stop everybody from selling you food, then you'll be compliant to never say anything bad about the government and not try to change the system. So if I can punish you, which in some ways, boy, there is some reflections of...
They try to control in that. Some ways, like, I don't know if you are aware, Kathy Hochul just passed, she passed something a few months ago that allowed people, like, I think up to $400 of inflation refund checks or whatever, and it's just, to me, it's another reason why you want people to like you and want you to be voted back into office, because money is being handed out. And
well, the Romans figured that out a long time ago. You have bread in circuses, and that's the way that's usually termed historically. So you have bread, you're providing for them, and entertainment, circuses. And then you can keep the masses appeased and not interested in anything because I'm taken care of. I don't have to think about anybody else. So as long as you have bread and circuses. So yeah, the politicians know this. if I can give you something and keep you satisfied that you're getting something, you don't care as much about other people and what they're doing. But
there's when you look at, like, I was seeing a video picture of this. It was in the perspective of central bank digital currency, though. All that people see or look at is convenience. The convenience, the instant, the desire of this. They don't see the tracking of information, the behind the scenes of everything else going on at the same time.
Well, I've heard it said is if you don't have an ad on the thing that you're using on a free platform, then you are the product. You are the one, because they are taking your information to sell you to other people. So if you're not getting ads from something and you're not paying for it, it's not free. You're the product that's getting sold.
You know, I got some news today from a group that I'm in using Telegram, and I read that most, not all, but most e-commerce websites use fake traffic.
Oh, yeah.
Fake traffic?
Yeah.
Do you mean like posting many reviews of bot accounts and that? Claiming that something's good when it's not?
That would be one of the ways you do it, yeah.
One of the I've been watching some scam videos.
Yeah, one of the other ways that can happen is, like, I put a product on, I sell it, I get reviews, I actually change the product, but I don't take down. So let's just say I sell 1,000 water bottles and everybody loves them, and then I take that off of there and I go sell TVs, but I leave all of the reviews that say this is a wonderful product and that you love it and I've sold this many. Now those brand new TVs that might be garbage and I need to offload them, you go look at, oh, it's 5-star. And you don't go read anything, or I go change a few little things and tweak it, and it looks like you're buying a product that's been reviewed already when it hasn't.
Right, and nowadays with what's been going on in things, you see the cost of what is really true, what is really not true, what is real, what is fake with AI. Like, you gotta know where the foundation of truth is, who really said it versus if it was just a bot saying it.
Yeah,
you can find things out there that can take a voice and make it sound like that person said something when it wasn't.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just getting worse. My feed for the last week has been filled with Mr. Rogers and Bob Ross videos. So I keep watching them because I find them funny, so I keep getting more of Mr. Rogers and Bob Ross, which the one that was
on the video and don't recommend channel.
Well,
I do.
Hey, Farseer, welcome in. Well, but okay.
Hello.
They're Bob Ross face painting somebody, you know. He's face painting old school people that are going into wrestling, WWE. So he's face painting their face makeup. I thought that was funny. Then he's doing hair stencil and cutting trees in the back of their had happy trees there. And I was like, it's funny. I don't believe it's true. I know it's not true. But when you get to the point of, and this is what I had said for a while, and welcome in Vegas. Glad to have you here. That my concern is in a third world country, there is going to be an AI thing that is going to be disseminated that is not true, and then the communication system is going to get shut down right after that so that nobody can know if it was real or not real. And then the blackout is going to cause chaos in that third world country. I don't think it can happen in the Western world. I might be wrong, but I just think that that's the thing I've been concerned about, is something like that where somebody has a shot, or a video that is shot that pretends to be an assassination or a blow up of something that will outrage people. desecration of something that would outrage people. Just put it out there, and then immediately after it gets out there for less than an hour where anybody can validate it, you shut the whole system down so that the last thing people saw was that and asking, is it real? And then all of a sudden you can't get truth to counter what's been put out there. But I could be wrong. Maybe it doesn't happen.
Let me send you a link through Whisper so you can read.
Okay.
Of course, you can always see this as fake news as well. But
yes.
I say where there is smoke, there is fire.
Okay, so here's a link to the e-commerce sites that 73% of their traffic is fake. Yeah. So you're saying that all the traffic is fake, not just the reviews, but just to say fake traffic. Well, Twitch is having a similar problem too with validating if you're a viewer or not a viewer. And I saw a video that was a streamer saying, hey, like, I don't think that the count I'm getting is actually the count I should have. Everybody take and say, type something in the chat, and the viewers count. I mean, they were, saying it was like 700 or something. It instantly went up to like 850. Like, there were a bunch of people not getting counted. So the how do you count something or not count something? Yeah, something in the chat, Supersonic. Thank you. And then Dustin got banned for people that were in there. They were thinking they were bots when they didn't say something. So it's like, which side of this can we deal with? I don't know.
I heard something, but I don't know credibility to it, that they might have, like, after a period of time, lurkers don't call.
Oh, yeah.
Don't count as viewers, but I don't know if that's still...
Yeah, I don't know where that stands, but yeah, that is the point of you need to say something in the chat to get credited. And it might be one of those things where you get rated to a second, third person, and you don't type anything, you're not getting counted is part of that.
Yeah.
All right, we've got ads going to be rolling in here. I've snoozed it a couple of times. Since we're not in the middle of something, I'm just going to let those come rolling in this time. So...
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to show the fish to everybody that's still here.
By the way, how is the goal with raising money going?
HCC, I think. No, GCC.
Oh, the you mean for the cycling?
Yeah.
I did not meet the goal of 500 this year, which is okay. I kind of set that out there, and part of it is well, in the past I've been able to set the goal, and what I don't meet, I'll fill in the rest of it. I'm not able to do that at this time, so I didn't end up making the goal of 500. I can't remember if I made 150 or 200 of the goal. So some years I've hit it, some I didn't. This year it's pretty tight for a lot of people. I advertise a lot of different people on stream with needs, and it just didn't make it this year. So, but if I could go look, but I know that overall, all of us who were doing this collectively together, we raised millions of dollars. So my $100, $200, it gets added with everybody else's. So in that regard, it was, man, I'd have to go back and look at how many miles that got ridden overall. I might be able to find it. Go look.
Would it be possible for me to help out in any way? I mean, not just in sending money, but I mean, can I help bring in money in some way?
For the cancer?
Yeah, for example.
Yeah, with that, it would be, either participating or sharing it with other people would be a way to do that. So the link just got shared there in the chat. I'm trying to see if
Little fish
I can
small.
so
serene. Nature's beauty.
no, it's just got individual leaderboards
See the
on the
watch the
so
hear the
the top raiser of things raised $100,000, and then the next person was $50,000. So some of these individuals have an actual family member that would have had cancer, and they'll do big events, and they'll do rides together along with it. I'm just a lone individual that is picked this as the charity I wanted to raise for, so that I could set up. Here is what I want to do, is ride my bike and be accountable to it, but I'm going to do it in a way that's going to bless other people. So, like, for instance, there is the team Joe Strong. So I'm guessing Joe was someone who had cancer as a kid, and that team raised $163,000 for being on that team. So I don't have the overall totals. I know they would have sent me an email, but I'm just trying to look this up on the website, and I don't see it. So, but I only do that. I only do that fundraising once a year for them, so I don't do it on an ongoing basis. But I think if you did click on the link, you'd still be able to do that. So next year, maybe as when I get signed up earlier in the year, I can make you aware of it, and you'd be able to share it with people.
Mm-hmm. So where can I see the different causes that you can save money to?
Okay, so if it's exclamation point past the cap, and so usually I just have people in the Twitch community share something that, hey, something's going on with a friend of mine. Yeah, no, it's past the cap, not pastor cap. So PTC. So currently, my friend Tony passed away, and this was really sudden, and his widow is dealing with medical expenses and funeral expenses. So there's a GoFundMe page. So I'm sharing that one with people, and I usually do that for 2 weeks. And then if someone else has something going on, I share that. So I've had things that have been shared raise as much as, $2,000 for something. A next one shared raise a couple of $100. It's whatever people give and you might resonate with. So, and then that's something you could share with me too. If you knew something that was going on, you'd be able to share that, and then we'll share it in the community. I don't always have one that's ongoing. So I'm going to do Tony's through today, and then after that, I won't be focused on it. So
I thought you always have at least one a month or something.
I usually have one a month, but I don't always. So there's been a couple of times when I haven't had one that's been ongoing. So, but it's almost always, because as soon as we get done with one, somebody else will share something, and then we'll just say, all right, we're going to now raise for this. So I've raised for Christian Ninja with his wife and her mental health circumstances and the treatment that she needed to get. We did that one not too long ago. So it's just kind of like people in the community share one, and then I will pass that along to other people. When I shared to begin with that I was going to start a prayer booth in my local community, that people said, all right, we need to give to that, and that helped me get started with doing that. So those are often just a one-off. The Global Cycle Challenge is really just once a year for the month of September, and then even in August, I'll let people know before we get there. So does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
The other thing, I am awful at promoting myself, but, I am trying to strive to work as a digital missionary and help people, and I'm working on traveling to as many conferences as I can to help strengthen and support people. So I will be traveling to the Nerd Culture Ministry Summit at Expo in San Francisco. I don't know, that's the week of Halloween, I think. So I'll be doing that, and then I'll be at Reach Conference, and some of that I get scholarshiped in some ways from organizations or people that I know, but otherwise, airfare. Nobody's covering my airfare. I do have a lot of airline miles that I can, use to help with that, or I have hotel miles that I can use for things. But yeah, and my income
How many
is.
trips do you go on a year?
It depends on year to year. So I just kind of have certain ones that. So I went to Exponential Orlando in March. I've gone the last 3 years. I will be there again next March with the church digital. That's where we get connected with the church community that's planting churches, and we're in the digital side, so that helps us connect with them and point people to the bigger idea of what they could do. So that's part of that. And then Reach Conference, I was there last year. I will plan on being at Reach Conference as often as I can. Nerd Culture Ministry Summit, the same thing. It's kind of like I got started with going to those, so those are ones I want to go to. The Exponential West, this is the first time I'm going. I probably won't go back. Exponential Central is usually a drive, and part of that's my denomination has started paying for tickets. So the ticket is free. The ticket's not super expensive, but if you can get the ticket for free, then it makes it easier to pay for your gas and your hotel if you can drive to it. This time, since Nerd Culture Ministry Summit is connected with Expo West, it was like, I want to go experience that. I've got some friends in San Francisco area to connect with, so I'm going to go do that. And then HopeCon, I did that one this year, so we'll see. I wanted to do that one last year, and it didn't work out. And HopeCon I could drive to this year, so.
How many people went to HopeCon?
I want to say 30, 35, something like that. I don't remember the exact number. So it's not as big. And HopeCon is
that many when I started. I was watching a touch of their live stream, and I'm
okay.
like, there's not that many people, but I didn't know around the range of like if that was just there's 30 or if there's 100 or a reasonable amount like that.
Yeah, it was. If you want to think of what HopeCon was, it's more along the lines of if your church did a retreat and only a fraction of the community went on the retreat, and then you spent time together, focused on God's word, in conversations, building one another up, and a lot of time in worship. That's going to be what HopeCon was, which was just really good. So they had a theme of rest, and we focused on that a lot, and it was fantastic. So, but it's going to be totally different than what Reach is.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. Was it similar or different to Reach?
No, very, very much different. Like I would say, HopeCon was more like a spiritual retreat. If you've ever done one with a local church, and you're out in creation and you're spending time alone with God in silence, there was a lot of time to do that. Reach is not going to be that. Reach is going to be building relationships with other streamers or people in your community, getting to come and say, hey, I got to see this person face to face. And so like Supersonic, you and I will get to hang out the whole time, which is going to be much more than what we get to do on stream. So it'll hopefully deepen our relationship. We'll get into conversations we wouldn't get into online. And then we'll have those conversations with other streamers at times. And then they'll be teaching and they'll be gaming. So that's what Reach Conference is. So
you might hear someone mowing the lawn.
Oh, can't hear that.
It's getting closer, but it's not here yet. But yeah. I like being able to...
Sorry, I'm reading Christopher's in the chat. Takes the kiwi slices, puts them in a moving blender without putting the lid on it. Oops, did I do that? Oh, Farseer's a little upset at that. Nopes.
I guess he got some on his face.
Very nice. I love the shenanigans. Very cool.
Yeah.
So did that answer your question there, Christopher, on my pass the cap, my charities, that kind of stuff? Yeah. If you, I think it's Dono. If you want to give to me to help support me, then it's, and I know it says pass the cap because I'd set that up over there for people that do not have a GoFundMe or other place to give directly to them. So if I'm collecting for someone that doesn't have that, I'll do that and let you know there. But otherwise, if you just want to contribute to me, there's a way that you can contribute to me being able to do what I'm doing and doing that. So, and then I work with the Church Digital, which they give me a stipend. It's a really small amount to show appreciation for what I'm doing and helping them with. But we're a nonprofit and we're getting started. We have no funding to pay anybody a salary. So it's more than what I make off of streaming, but that's not saying a whole lot.
Like I was thinking about perhaps like helping you out through next summer, maybe if I get an electrical bike, because I'm having plans to buy one. And
oh, cool.
Perhaps doing the same thing here to help you out.
That's
why I was asking.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah, absolutely. And there, like, I picked the Great Cycle Challenge. That is the one I did. So I'll just put it back in the chat here. If you just take the first part of that greatcyclechallenge.com without me on there, you should be able to join that as well as a rider, and we could join together as a team and raise funds together as a team. I hadn't thought about doing that. We could try to get more people in the Twitch community to try to help do that. And
yeah, because if you can faster reach your goal, that would help.
Yeah, absolutely. I did have a friend this year that gave a good significant amount that I hadn't had before. So that was kind of cool. They put down a large amount there. I did have 2 or 3 people that gave me checks, and then I added it to there. But it, like I said, for me this year, it just didn't end up being as much in the way of what I collected in years past. I've made my goals, and I'm not setting a super large goal. Like I said, for a lot of the people I see that have that, they have lost a loved one directly as a kid to cancer, and then their community's usually, around there. If I go out into my community and say, hey, I'm just raising for a charity that you don't know about, it's a little bit harder for people to do that. So I just usually just post it online, say I'm writing for kids with cancer, and some people give and some people don't. So.
Have you ever thought about perhaps contacting a known performer to collab with?
To collab on riding bike or to collab on raising funds?
Or raising funds.
I haven't thought about doing that.
Did you get all the cost in order for Reach with the... I know I paid my Airbnb side and already... yeah, I already paid the plane, if I recall.
Well, I'm assuming you paid for your plane. You usually have to pay that when you buy the tickets, so...
Yeah, because I've got a confirmation number in that.
Yeah, your plane should be paid for. That's not something they usually let you reserve more than 24 hours without paying. I did get the rental vehicle scheduled, and I did not figure out I got to sit down and figure that out of, hey, if you want to ride, just pay me this much, and that should help me cover the cost of it. So yeah. I'll get that to you. I might have some time the next couple of days while I'm sitting at my mom's house in the evening that I could do that little bit of math supersonic. So
is that another dividends cost where you break it down for each person, or is it specific to that? Like every person who goes with you on a drive would be like a $10 or $20 per drive or something.
I will break it down for those people that are staying in the Airbnb. Here's your cost. You can ride back and forth every time. So it'll be like that, and then anybody else that needs a ride along the way, I'll probably.
Is it like you're paying a certain amount for the rental, and you're divvying that up for each person, or are you also incorporating a bit of the fuel cost probably too?
I think what I'm going to try to do is divvy up the cost of the rental by everybody that's, and I don't know if everybody at the Airbnb will need a ride because some of them might be driving, but I'll try to divvy it up by here's what it would do to cover my cost, and then anyone who's not at the Airbnb, I would say here's how much, and that would hopefully cover my gas costs, if that makes sense.
Right.
So I'm not trying to make any money on it. I'm just trying to not have the expense be fully out of my pocket. But also, if someone says I can't pay, I'm not going to say sorry. I'm going to give you the ride anyway. So.
Mm-hmm.
Have you thought about commuting, like sharing a ride?
Yeah. This is where I looked at what it would be and how many of us sharing a ride back and forth every day of the conference. And so I got a really good rental deal, somewhere around $40 a day for a 12-passenger van. So if we divvy that up with 12 people, even if we divvy it up with 8 people, that's going to be way cheaper than just doing a single ride share.
Yeah, 8 people is 5 each times days.
And how many miles does that guarantee you?
Oh, it's unlimited miles. I just have to return the vehicle filled with gas. So I will have to pay gas while I'm driving back and forth and then fill it up before I return the vehicle.
Mm-hmm. How does that work for me and Born Again Gamer? Because we'll be coming from the airport in Orlando.
I'll get that in the channel, and I will say send me your pickup, your arrival time, and as long as there's no conflicts, I will go pick you up at the airport. So we already were talking about getting phone numbers. I will make sure and include that in the conversation.
Someone else. I'm hoping it doesn't conflict with someone else either, though. Like, if someone else is on the way to their airport or their situation, and we all need to carpool separate places same time, or just cross that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah. Well, and I like other people might be making other arrangements. I want to make sure anybody that's staying in our Airbnb, I can do what I can to make those arrangements. And if there's other people, so I said, if I can pick up 4 or 5 people at the same time that are going to the same place, I might as well be your Uber driver,
Yeah, because me and Born Again Gamer might not be the only 2 that are coming from the airport.
Oh, very realistically, yeah. So we need to work on that conversation. I'll be working on it the next couple of days, Supersonic. That's a good thing for me to focus on while I'm at my mom's house, is firming up all of that stuff. Christopher, not to brag, but you remember now that when you were younger and more beautiful and less overweight, the longest one way you've biked in your life is that 37.28?
Yeah, 37.28.
Oh, 37.28 American miles. Okay. Yep. I was thinking that was longer than that. I was thinking the comma just got in the wrong place, and you were going to say you rode 3,728 miles.
No.
I'm like, holy cow! I mean, fantastic.
That'd be great.
Yeah, my longest.
The comma is a decimal.
Yeah,
I thought it to be a typo to be a decimal.
Yeah, I'm glad you caught that because I missed that. Okay.
According to the paperwork me and Born Again Gamer had, we would be arriving in Florida at 5:10 p.m. So the time from there to get to the Airbnb would not be too much pressure because like we're arriving and we have a little bit of time to work with.
Yeah.
But when we leave, it would be at 7:35 in the morning on the Sunday.
Okay.
Which means we'd probably have to be, what is it? Let's say 7:30, 5:30 at the airport. We
Yep.
might be leaving at 5.
Yep.
And I'm not a morning person.
Hey, I can, if it works out, and we can work this out when we get there, I can absolutely do a loop to the airport and drop you off. I'm planning on staying for worship. I didn't do that last year. I wanted to do that this year. So I can drop you off. Worship won't be at, that early. And if anyone else is going Sunday morning, I can help drop off. Then I want to go to worship with the church. And then I have to be at the airport at 2 to drop off the vehicle. And my flight's probably at 4:30, something like that.
The other thing with this, though, is like when we get home or when we get like the time we're leaving and the time we're getting back, Born Again Gamer still has a long 4 to 5 hour drive plus border to get through before he can arrive home. It's not just an hour. It takes like an hour for me to get home from the airport.
Yeah.
But like for him, it's like 4 to 5. So his day's going to be a long day on top of that.
Oh, no doubt. He probably should try to sleep on the plane. It would be a good plan.
Hopefully, what is it? I think about 2 hours, 40 minutes is long enough for a nap. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, especially if you just got up and you're still tired, you should be able to doze for a little bit. And yeah.
Especially after a long conference of a lot of, like, you'll be tired after.
Oh, yeah. There's definitely a lot of that.
Even the first day is going to be tiring because we've got a connecting flight.
Mm. Oh, do you have a direct flight on the way back?
Direct on the way back.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We're stopping once on the way there.
Yeah. I used to try to always get direct flights. I started realizing that the layovers aren't always as bad, and sometimes you end up with a better ride and cheaper ride if you do that. Especially when I was doing direct routes, I was usually driving to Chicago 3 hours instead of going 1 hour to the airport that's closer to me. So, if we say that you do decide to swim across the Atlantic Ocean, can you guarantee that you'll meet up at the hospital since you'll swallow so much water on the way there? If you swim across, yes. Well, I guess it depends on where you end up. If you're in Maine, I don't know if I'll make it to Maine. We'll be in Florida. But if you swim to Florida, we'll make it.
Okay, I'll try. I don't make any promises, though.
Okay. We do have ads coming in again, and then when we get back from that, why don't we go to a couple more questions you had, Supersonic, because you were asking about knowledge versus understanding, and I thought it was a really good topic to have a conversation with. So,
yeah, I also have another thing I wanted to show you with the thing that we went over at church.
Okay, cool. Yeah. All right, let me go to... I'm going to give the BRB screen to give the dancing feet this time.
How many, I know you've got a bunch of flat caps, but how many shoes do you have in that Accord 2, man?
Oh, I don't know how many shoes I have. I haven't counted them. We should have counted them when we did the Streamiversary.
Do you still have them?
Oh, all the shoes that were in the video? Yeah. I still have all those shoes, plus more shoes since then. We did for Streamiversary shoot some footage of new hats and new shoes, but I haven't edited any of that yet. So, somewhere along the way I need to edit for a new video.
How long do you think it would be before you reach the you did everything on the Pirates Who Don't Do Anything?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not like setting out and every year saying I'm going to go do something. It's more a matter of I have the opportunity to go do something. So I was supposed to go to Minneapolis a couple of years ago with my wife, and that ended up not happening. But I was going to go with her and then drive over to St. Paul so I could do geocaching in St. Paul so that I could bury treasure in St. Paul. But I have no plans to go to Minneapolis anytime. So it's just a matter of, opportunity and go do that. Whenever we do go look at booking.
Bury treasure in St. Paul. One, what would you bury? Two, would you make a map or something to allow people to try to find it and give them like a little bit of a fun thing to do for a moment?
Oh, no, I decided to do geocaching. So geocaching, usually there's a hidden thing that you find, you sign your name that you've done that, and then you can hide something in there or leave something. So that's what I'm doing for the buried treasure. I'm doing geocaching. So I just did that in St. Louis.
Yeah, we have something similar here in Sweden. We call it turfing.
Okay.
Like you go to some places, you check in on that place. So you have like certain places you have to go to collect points or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's similar to that.
Yeah. So there's different levels of it.
Like there's this hidden treasure, and that treasure's always there. You just change what's in the treasure every time somebody comes and finds it.
It depends on how it's set up. So some of them are, you can leave a trinket in there and you can take a trinket kind of thing. So I've got to work on shooting the video for this. So I actually found one. I thought this was cool because I was like, what am I going to leave as far as treasure? So I found one that it was a guy who has one of those libraries. If you've ever seen those, it's like on a pole, and there's library books that are in this little, like, call it a big birdhouse or a small little, case, and you open it up and you can take a book, or if you have a book, you can leave a book. So the geocache was set up in his front yard. He had a bench next to it, and so I left a book there for someone else. I didn't end up taking a book, but I just left a book. So there was the treasure that I buried was that. But others will have something where, maybe I would leave this button that said I went and I did the Great Cycle Challenge in 2025. I leave that behind. People may not know it was me, but I just think, hey, there's something to show that I was there. Or maybe I leave a 20-sided dice. People will leave something of value of a trinket there.
Or a Bible?
I could leave a Bible. Yeah, I didn't leave a Bible. I left because I wasn't planning on doing a book. I'm like, I'm going to leave something. I wasn't sure what I was going to leave. And when I found that one when I was already there, I'm like, this is cool. And then I had a book that I'd been given, and I thought, this is a good book, I can leave. So.
Yeah, to me, it sounds a little kind of like a time capsule.
Oh, a little bit along that. And then some are really difficult, and there's a whole bunch of, when you find it, make sure nobody's watching so that you can secretly get into it, write your name that's there, proof that you were there, hide it back away so that other people have to find it, not just watch you find it. So. And then there's a paid level too for the elite people to be able to do really more complicated ones. I'm like, I'm not interested in that. I'm just doing this a little bit for fun. Just want to enjoy it. There were a couple of other ones that were around. Like there is one that's by the big arch in St. Louis, but you've got to go in the basement, or not the basement, but I mean underground, and go find some stuff and be in the right place. And I'm like, I want to find an easier one. So. Okay, so we were talking about the difference between knowledge versus understanding. Oh, sorry, Christopher, go ahead.
One more thing on that.
Okay.
Sonic.
Sorry.
I don't know if Reach is going to do this, but One thing I've kind of wanted to do, we have a couple in the area, but I don't really have any friends that would be able to do it with me. Uh, an escape room.
Oh, okay. I have one of those in town near me. I don't know if there's one in Orlando. I would assume there is. I mean, we're not actually Orlando proper, so you could probably look for it and find it, and go do
Usually they
that.
give you like a time limit to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I've never had an interest in doing an escape room. I understand the idea of solving the riddle and solving the puzzle and all of that, and trying
Jade would really like that.
to get
Jade would
out.
have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah. So, but I'm saying there's probably other people that would want or would be excited about doing that if you found one in the Orlando area, and were able to arrange that with other people. They might like to do that. That's like there'll probably be people that will want to go to Disney Springs or Disney while they're there. You know, you might find people that want to do an escape room. I won't be one of them, but
Mama Bearcon is saying that she really likes escape rooms, and there's a place I think in a local mall of
okay.
mine that like I think they do something different every few months. They change the
Yeah.
theme of it, whether it's like Western and then space and then like a Indiana Jones theme in another one or whatever, trending every so often.
Yeah, and I would imagine that they change the clues and the way out
Yep.
even more frequently than that. So you're not coming in and with one group learning everything, come back in the next group and be an expert, you know.
Right, and even then they've got a few different options, not just one door or one room.
Oh, okay.
It's like 3, maybe 5.
Okay.
But even then, it's like I'm kind of on this, but you get, let's say, an hour to do it, and then after you unlock it, some of them you have a choice to lock it again and solve another puzzle to solve like a true ending kind of thing.
Okay.
There's I think there's different difficulty levels, like a scale 1 to 5, where it's like if you did a level 2, now the remaining time you have left over can become a level 4 challenge, and it's a little less time to do that puzzle. But now that you have that information, you can go off of that. But like, it's cool to see how you can do that, how to solve them. I played a few mini games like that once. I was still confused before them though.
Yeah.
But like, when you start doing something like that, I wonder like what goes in the person's mind to make that puzzle. Not just
Hmm.
to be like, how do you solve the puzzle, but how do you make the puzzle so you're not giving the answer away, but you're hinting and cluing at different areas that helps without making it too obscure or too simple either. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's got to be a trick to that, but also when you do a lot of puzzles, you become good at thinking through creating puzzles that might be similar or the same style of puzzle. I remember when I was,
Right.
you know, in math and doing, you know, story problems all the time, one of our teachers would have a whole thing where you
Something
can
taped under a desk kind of thing.
yeah, you can create a story problem and kind of, you know, do that. So you'd be thinking about them all the time. This clue to give you this will solve for this. Now this part will give you this to solve for this. So yeah, you get doing those. You see them all the time. So, all right, Mama Barracorn, do you have a color that you'd like? Let me give you the cam here. On the Redeem of the Change hat, do you have one in mind that you would like me to switch to? And then I saw your spot of tea, supersonic. A spot of tea. Spot of tea. Earl Grey all day, baby.
Can I ask, where does that expression come from? It's British, of course, but is it taken from a movie or is it taken from like
A spot of
show
tea?
or yeah?
My thought is it's just the way that the British people usually talk about offering you a tea. Would you like a spot of tea? So instead of saying a cup of tea, you just say a spot of tea. Yeah, a cup of tea. Just another way to say the same thing.
Cup of.
I'm a bear corn. I want to say top hat, but yeah, it wouldn't fit. The top hat would not fit underneath. And it's change flat cap. It's not where other hats. So I'm gonna say no on that one. Sorry. If I was on my regular stream without the headset, we could go for it. But the red one.
God bless you.
Thank you. Yeah, I suddenly had a sneeze, and I'm like, let me just stay away from the microphone and not come back and sneeze on it. All right, there we go. We have the red one, which I do have a matching red vest and bow tie that go with this hat. So I don't think I've worn it on stream.
So, if you had to pick 3 favorites of
Okay.
all the cats in that shelf, which 3 would you choose?
Okay, I'm gonna just say this quietly because this is gonna be one of the things I'm gonna actually talk about at Reach Conference. So I'm gonna give you some general thoughts here. So the one here with the recycled is a really, I really love that one. So it's recycled coffee bags. So that one's really cool.
Wow.
There's another one that is one of my favorites. It's not on the shelf. It's upstairs. It's my oldest one. And that one's one of my favorites because it's the oldest one. And so, I mean, I've had some before that when I was, younger, and then they didn't last. But since I've been able to start building my collection, it's my oldest one. And then I'll show you one more here. So this one and this style is the one that my stepdad wore all the time. So This is his hat. He's passed away. I wear it every once in a while. I don't wear it very often. I want this one to last a long time. So I usually only wear this one at home. I don't usually wear it out. So if I'm just feeling a little nostalgic and missing him, I will choose to wear that for a day.
Do you know that it was like particularly British people who wore those kind of caps?
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah, it was working man's style hat. So, yep. And then they do have different names for them when they came over or were used in the States. And so the cabbies would wear them, so it's called a cabbie. Paper boys would wear them, so it's called a paper boy. There's a lot of different names for it. I think in Britain, some of them people call it a Jeff hat. I'm not sure the origin of Jeff, but that's another name for it. And the different styles all have different names as well. This one, there are ones that go like this, can be called duckbills as well. I always thought that.
I see the resemblance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Duckbill can also be a 6-panel. This is not a 6-panel, but because you can see it goes square and then down the center, it doesn't come in from the sides. But a 6-panel is just that. It's got 6 panels, or an 8-panel has 8 panels. So thank you for the redeem there.
So what makes it different from, let's say, a baseball cap?
Oh, a baseball cap is going to have a bill that is totally separate. So the fabric does not run down to the bill. So this would, a baseball cap would run here, and then the bill would be separate. So there would be a seam here, and the bill is a separate piece. The fabric doesn't flow all the way onto it.
So that's the only difference.
There could be more to that as well, but I mean that's the basic as far as it goes. Is the bill is totally separate. You don't have fabric that runs down onto the bill, and then some of these will have. I'll be show you another style. So in the older styles, they might have snaps. This one has two. Some are single snaps. Yeah. So this would be separate, and then you bring that down on top of it. If this was a baseball cap, which just isn't, the bill is just like this, and then the cap stays up on top. So
what is the main reason for having snaps?
I like them.
Yeah, but I mean in general, not just for you.
Yeah.
Is it for people with bigger heads, or?
It's just it became a, like I said, it started out as a working man's hat. So with the top hats and people that used that style, it was more prestigious, and like you lean over, that hat could fall off. You know, it's not going to stay on your head. So it was more of a functional manner that you would have a hat that you could have your head covered and you can do work. Right. Hats have gone out of style, so today hats are, basically only for people that are trying to wear style. The only function I can think of for hats other than that is to keep your head dry or keep your head warm or keep sun or rain off your face. So those are the functional aspects of a hat.
You mean like it is a predecessor to the umbrella?
Yeah, in some ways. You can use it for that. And depending on what style hat and where you were, it could certainly help with the sun or rain. Yeah. So.
By the way, do you remember the last time I visited your bike stream? You were talking about the signal being interfered in some way.
Yes.
And you were looking for a solution for that. And I'm not making any promises, but I think I may have found a solution.
Okay. Yeah, if you're...
let me send you the link in the Whisper. There you go.
Okay. Well,
I think on another topic when we get what you were gonna say there. I was gonna move forward to the next thing, but you were saying something, Flat Cap.
Okay. No, I was just gonna say I've identified the kind of interference I'm getting seems to be electrical interference around power stations, or I get interference from security systems. Those seem to be the two kinds of interference that I run into. So, yeah, I will look at that. Bicycle ham radio. That sounds interesting. I'll check that out.
I'll send you the invoice.
So, we were talking about the maturing in Christ and growing in knowledge versus understanding.
Right.
It's one thing to, like I was saying before, like trying to memorize something. It's one thing to memorize it. It's another thing to understand what it says and then apply it and then grow in that, so that you're not just applying it, you're living and trying to actively work on it, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of stuff that we can't just work on like that without the Lord's strength and understanding.
Yeah. Absolutely. But one of the things that unfortunately we live in an age that thinks accumulation of knowledge is really an important thing. And so it's not only an issue within the church, it's a cultural issue. And one of the places that you see it is you go to university, you get a degree, that degree is not enough. You go to you get another degree, you have to keep adding knowledge, as opposed to the older model of apprenticeship. An apprenticeship is more of the hands-on. You're learning from a tradesman how to learn the skill, how to apply the skill, how to use the skill. So a lot of times we have head knowledge. We've just brought that over into the church. We haven't brought in the put it into practice kind of ideas at times. We've just brought in the let's learn the book. I know all the book, so I know what it says. But we don't actually go and like, let's go read the Sermon on the Mount and then go do it. We don't study that. We don't practice that. That's not how we do it. We just go, just learn the Sermon on the Mount. Good. So I know what it says. And then we struggle to actually go live it out. And I think that's like, go back to some of our conversations we were having earlier about why do we have such politically divided people and all of that. Well, because we're not living out the Sermon on the Mount and putting it into practice. So we often can still have knowledge, which is just going to be intellectual, is the way that we use it. I think knowledge should be experiential, which is another type of knowledge. But understanding, I totally agree with you. I can know what labor is and women going into labor. I will not experience it. So I will not have experiential knowledge. So my understanding of complications that can happen are going to be intellectual or emotional. They're not going to be physical. So I have limitations there. So sometimes knowledge and understanding. Go ahead, Super.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I know what you're going through if you've related to that situation, like a passing of someone, but I don't know what you're going through would be better to point someone in the right direction if it's something you don't struggle with or something you can't experience, such as what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, it's just there's limitations in all of the ways that we interact with people. And knowing that gaining knowledge is never the end goal. It should never be the end goal. Like you were talking about wanting to learn a foreign language.
American Sign Language.
Okay.
For me.
American Sign Language. Sorry, second language. Your goal of learning American Sign Language wouldn't be so that you could just go, there we go, check the box. I've learned American Sign Language and do nothing with it. It would be fruitless. It would be a waste of time. So knowledge for knowledge's sake is not valuable. Why would you spend the time doing that? But like, to go back to the kids, the hope with the kids memorizing scripture isn't for them to memorize scripture. The goal is for them to understand what it is and, like you're saying, to apply it. That would be the goal of them spending time memorizing scripture would be, hey, what are you going to do with this? Apply it to your life. Share it with other people. Put it into practice. That would be the thoughts there. Anything else on that you were wondering about, or was that kind of the fullness of what you were thinking?
That was a good chunk of it because, like, it kind of segues into each of these, though. Like,
oh yeah, totally.
Understanding what you're reading, understanding without having to read it over and over and over and try to just understand what it even says.
Yeah. Well, and that's where sometimes, too, you need to learn more basic things before you can grasp, bigger things. Like, for instance, you don't start with algebraic equations or geometry. You start with addition and subtraction. After you can master addition and subtraction, you move on to multiplication and division. Right. You keep adding pieces to it. So even with faith, there's that level of, there's the basicness that Jesus summarizes everything in love God and love your neighbor as yourself. But what does that really mean? How do I move it past that? How do I make it deeper? How do I actually go and demonstrate love? Now, how do I know the difference between different kinds of love, of brotherly love, of self-sacrificing love, of loyalty love? Those are all different aspects. But to start with, all I can understand is, okay, love, I get that. Let's start with that, and then you can change it.
I think as we segue to the next, it's like knowing what to say and seeking God for guidance. Like, there's things that we do and we won't fully understand in this life, but like, there's plenty of things that I want to be accurate in what I'm saying when I share the gospel or share with someone. Like, yes, if you don't know what to say, at least you've got your testimony.
Mm-hmm.
But for you, for example, you've been studying and you've been a pastor, you know a lot more than the average person. Nothing to discredit average people in that sense, but it's like there's a lot more that goes into it than just believing in Christ or learning a few verses. And as it goes back to memorizing verses and trying to memorize something to focus on something that can be difficult to focus on when you can easily get distracted, if you know what I mean, or have other priorities or other things that catch your attention more so.
Well, in sharing it is the one like there's so many things, and you're right. Like I have been studying for years, but I may be deep in some areas, but there's still areas where, like, bring out Isaiah and Jeremiah, and I'm like, man, I got a long way to go before I fully I'm going to be someone that could write papers describing and talking about Isaiah and Jeremiah. It's not my place that I've spent a lot of time in. But if you just spend a lot of time in the Gospels around Jesus and you're just sharing Jesus with people, you don't need to have an expertise in every area or in everything. And then just ask yourself, why is it good news? Why is it good news? And then share that with people. Why is it good news that Jesus came? Okay. And then why is that good news? And then, okay, why is that good news? So no matter what your answer is, if you can come back to just answering or asking the question of why is that good news? And so then with whatever person you're talking about next to you. So why would Jesus, being the Son of God, be good news? Well, if the person I'm sitting with is sick in the hospital, it might be good news because he's a great physician. If I'm with someone who their family member is going through, maybe they're going to lose their job or they can't find a job, there's a lot of anxiety and stress. Well, it would be good to know because, hey, he's the one who is going to calm people's hearts and fears, and he says, cast all your burdens on him. So the good news is going to be relative to the person and the situation and just bringing that to them. And then, so why is that good news? Because you don't have to rely on yourself. You can trust in God. Why is that good news? Because he cares about the birds and the sparrow and the flowers just as much. So it's like you just keep asking the question, why is it good news? And then you could keep having something to add to the conversation. I don't know if that makes sense, Supersonic.
A little bit. Like, keep expanding off of the good news, or keep expanding off of certain things, like enjoying the nice day out versus
there you go. Yeah. So there's
the opportunity to talk to someone.
Right. So there's always one more thing to be able to see or say if you just keep asking the same question, and why is that good news? So you don't have to, in that case, know everything, because you're just answering the why would this be good for this person? Why is that good for this person? And you just keep following that trail. Then you're just basing it on the knowledge you have. Someone else might have different answers, so you don't have to have the right answers. You just have an answer that is good. And if they ask you direct questions, which is a little bit different, they ask you a direct question, you don't have an answer, you just simply say, you don't know. I say that often, I don't know. I mean, that's not something I've thought about. People will want to talk to me about apologetics and ask me things. And I'm like, I don't practice apologetics. I'm not interested in apologetics. There are other people who are, and great. I mean, it's needed. It's just not an area that I've spent any time, focused on at all.
It's like sometimes it's tricky to, like, if somebody starts trolling or wanting to catch you off guard, knowing what to say versus like turning it back around to them a little bit. Like, why do you believe this, rather than trying to make them try to get you to
Yeah.
answer your side, you know?
Yeah. Definitely. And then also, if someone is coming with you at a question, is finding out, is that the real question they want to ask? Is there another question that's underneath that question that they really would rather have answered? Like, often I think that people would say, what about the people that have never heard about Jesus, that are in a foreign country, that don't know the language and are never going to hear the gospel? What about them? Is God going to throw them in hell? That's not really the question they want answered. They ask that because if you can't address that, and you can't get to asking that question or answering it or saying, I don't know, and it's up to God, or just say, oh yeah, they're going to hell and they be damned because they didn't hear about Jesus. We're really wanting to have a conversation with you when they're asking that question. They want more engagement. They don't just want an answer. So it's like, okay, so is that really the question you want me to answer? Or is there something more that you're just concerned with? God feels unfair and unjust to you. Maybe that's what you're trying to really address. Christopher, if God doesn't exist, it sure is strange that people get so offended by a possibility that he might be real. Like, why do they object against a higher power that they still don't believe in? That's kind of ignorant, if you ask me. Yeah.
Do you think it's kind of because people are kind of hard set and like don't want to hear anything about it, rather than the sense of at least have a learning for it or a desire to understand something?
Let me just find this a second here. Oh, all right, so I'm gonna put this in the chat. So this is Crew's audience map. Oh, it didn't paste. There we go.
What do you mean audience map?
Okay. So audience is the people you're speaking to. So they're in the audience, whoever you are having a conversation with. So you can be hostile to the gospel. There can be many reasons why you're hostile to the gospel. You could have been harmed. So they're doing research globally, and they've identified and let people self-identify these categories. So people who are hostile to the gospel, there are people who are uninterested in the gospel. There are people who are unaware of the gospel. There are people who are open to the gospel. There are people who are seeking the gospel. So those are all people that don't have a relationship with Christ. There's also some people who are unclear, like they might have some concept, but they've got some things mixed up in whatever it is, or they're dual. So they're trying to combine Christianity and other things together, or Jesus and adding him to other things. And then you move to the categories of those who are professing.
Trying to fit something into a box that it's not meant to fit in.
Well, there could be different ways that it happens. So one way would be I'm a Hindu and we have lots of gods. I'll just add Jesus as another god. It could be that, or I'm just trying to find something that speaks to me. I'm just spiritual. So I like this piece of Judaism, and I like that piece of Christianity, and I like that. I'm going to make my own thing out of pieces.
Making their own.
So it's either thinking you can insert Jesus into what you already have, or you're kind of buffet style, finding your own spot. And then there are those people who are then have a relationship. So they're professing, but it doesn't mean they're doing anything. There are people who are growing. There are people who are grounded, and those are different categories that they've talked about. Then there are people who are engaged, and then there's people who are multiplying. So I think somewhat supersonic, what you're talking about is it depends on where people are at of what you need to talk with them about. And maybe you're not called to the people that are hostile. You're called to the people that are open, or the people that are unaware, and you can have different conversations. And when you run into a person that's hostile, you say, or uninterested, you say, I don't have an answer for you, but maybe my friend over here would. We got ads rolling. I don't have any more delays, so we got that ad We'll be back with it shortly. I'm gonna give Reach Conference
Launch
promo
the
for
final
people.
countdown to ReachConf 2025. You better be grabbing your tickets as soon as possible. For the gamers, the video game building has over 10 TV and console combination stations with Smash tourneys. VR folks are going to have a Beat Saber tourney. There's going to be PC and game demos, arcade machines that are all free to play,
like
a retro arcade, and an optional bring your own computer PC land for the PC
why is
folks.
it easier
For the
to do
tabletop
something
gamers, there's going to be a
versus other
50-person
things
mega
being more difficult
Dungeons and Dragons one-shot.
when it
Lots of
comes to
tabletop space
making a
for
habit of
all of the
something.
board games, and there's going to be room for the trading card gamers. If you want to
Can
bring your
you
Magic
give
cards,
me
bring your
a,
Pokemon cards, battle it out, let's
specific
go.
thing
We're
you're-
calling
you're
all the
thinking about?
cosplayers in the group also. There's going to be a 360-degree photo
You
shoot,
could say it
a
like
daily
this.
team
It's
shoot,
easy
and daily
to make a
winners.
habit of going
And
to
beyond
work
that,
or making an
there's going to be
appointment or
awesome
setting
game
up
shows that
something
the
that you
audience can
wanna
be called
do,
in to win
where
real
you have to
prizes,
obligate to
content
do,
creator training events,
versus,
industry talks, and more.
I'm
So
not
make sure you
as
get your tickets for
interested or
ReachConf
don't need
2025
to
today.
focus on this, like
Attention
I mentioned
streamers,
in the
content
in it,
creators,
letting
gamers,
God
and cosplayers.
handle giving things
Last year,
to
ReachConf
God
was
that
an
we can
absolute blast.
control. Like,
An in-real-life celebration where creators
if I-
connected, impactful
Sorry, my
speakers
brain's
inspired,
distracted.
gaming tourneys, on-stage
It's the better
shenanigans,
part of
and
the
fantastic
world
music
being
kept the
called.
energy high.
So,
It was more than an
It's
event.
easy to focus
It was a
on
community
like,
coming
getting
together.
worked up over something. you
Get
can't
ready for
control, such as
ReachConf
the news or such
2025,
as
happening November 6th to
the
8th.
politics
All the best
or
parts of gaming
even
and
how
creative
something
culture
doesn't
will be there, live and in person.
hoping in things or stuff like that, or whatever it may be, like giving things into the Lord's hands. It can be hard.
Well, yeah, it could be hard. I mean,
Some-
you've got
there's some things you can give to God. There's some things it's hard for us to give to God.
yeah, and I think it depends on each person what becomes easy to give to God and what becomes difficult. So for Abraham and Sarah, it became really difficult to believe they were going to have a child. They just maybe there's a different way this has to happen. So they tried to take it and make it happen sooner, and in their own way, they tried to take control of it and make it happen. I think that's just a tendency that we have. There are some areas that we are going to struggle with having the patience to wait for things to be able to happen, and somebody else may struggle with something different of waiting to have happen. So, hey, Hobo Bob, welcome in.
Hello.
hey, Bob.
Yeah, like I say, there's certainly things that I have a lot of difficulty waiting, and I want to control things. I love to control things. I think at times I can steer things to go do what they should do. I'll just pick things like I have plants and flowers, and you know what I can't do? I can't go make my maple trees grow faster so that I can tap my maple trees I planted. I can't remember, it's 4 years ago now. I think it's maybe 4 years ago. And it's like, I want to tap those trees. They're not mature enough. I have to wait. Or my blueberry bush is like, I wish there were more blueberries this year. It was an awful year. It didn't get enough rain. I had no control over it. I want to control that. I want to make it happen. We're impatient with a lot of things. And I think the further we move away from an agricultural society to what I'll call a microwave society, we don't know how to be patient about anything or to wait anymore. It's like, what do you mean I can't have it now? I just ordered my food. Why is it not ready? It should be here already. We've just trained ourselves to be impatient.
Yeah, that's the problem with the society. They want it quick, not good.
Quick, easy, convenient. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the way your brain gets trained, is to solve it now, to do it right now, to figure it out right now. So, looking at all my hats, well, if I see a new one, do I just go out and run out and buy it because I need one? No, I'm not in that mode. I'm waiting. I'm not looking for one. I got a couple. What was it, last year for Christmas or something? And I was like, I haven't bought one since. I'm not running out looking for it. It's not like, oh, I need a new one, bigger or better. But my phone, I've got the new phone this year because my old one was out of date and broken and it needed upgraded. And so there's some things we run to replace, or if we're talking video games, are you always playing the newest game that just got released so that you can be there doing it? Or do you say, well, no, I've got to save up my money, pay for all my bills, put money aside when I can fully buy it? Like, I love the way that we've had conversations, Supersonic, of, no, I want to pay for this. I want to make sure it's paid for. I'm not going to do these things. I'm not going to get, stuck in that mentality of saying, yeah, let me just pay for it later. Let me just pay for it later and put it on credit. I may use credit cards a lot. I pay them off monthly, though.
Yep, same thing. I don't like holding on to a minimum payment or anything.
Oh, well, yeah. When you're usually paying a minimum payment, you're paying so much in interest that you could have paid for the thing 2 and 3 times over if you had patience to wait to buy it.
Yeah, but the problem is that not all have $10,000 in the bank account, so they can buy it in an instant.
Exactly, but at the same time, you would then need to know.
Gone up.
Yeah. Well, it depends on what we're talking about. I don't have money in the bank to go buy a car unless it's a used car that may not get down the road reliably.
Right.
I don't have money in the bank to buy a house. So there are some things that I don't see an issue with doing and paying for, but don't go buy a car with a credit card. That would be a really bad decision. Even though it's credit, it's a bad method for getting credit.
Right, because some things it's like, do you really need this right now? Can you just simply save up and work your way to get it?
Yeah.
Or do you just want it now? And
right.
Although some of those things can be okay if you are like you said, keeping track of like a new car or a bigger purchase, but some of the stuff, save up for it and make a gradual goal. And I love doing numbers. I love equations, income. I love doing my budgeting.
But the way that the economy is going now, it's harder and harder to
absolutely
save money.
Yeah. Our economies are not based around the idea of saving money. They're based on the idea of spending money. Hey, welcome in, Lucis.
Because I remember when I was back in school, like when I think I was 17 years old, we had like 5% interest in the savings account. And today we have like 0 point something.
Okay. I do have some around me where they normally have higher than that, but your point is valid that usually you're getting a very small return on the amount of money that you give. So
so it takes a longer time to actually save money to get what you need. For example, if we say that you really do need to buy a new car, and your current car breaks down, what are you gonna do? You have to get a car because people rely on driving cars.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, especially in the U.S. and a lot of places, it's very difficult because of the way that we are spread out to go places, to go to work, to go the amount of time, and there's no public transportation systems outside of cities that are efficient for people to get around without having car ownership. So
and also you have to support the oil companies as well.
Well, okay, there could be part of that, but I'm just thinking the overall system isn't set up, which, even public transportation would need the oil companies in some way, or some system for electricity if they're electric. But I didn't really mean to fully tangent us over to here, but there's that level of control that's there of, if I want it now, I can give it now. Or I can have control and have patience. And we just really are not taught in society, or society does not value having patience. It's not like, hey, come put your money with us and save it. And once you save enough for a down payment for a house, we'll help you get a house. No, it's we'll let you get a house with no money down so you can borrow more money, and then we can sell you insurance on your loan that will pay us if you default on your loan, but you'll lose the house if you default on the loan. So it protects us, but we'll give you the money, and then we make more money, and we'll give loans to people who shouldn't get loans, who have no means to pay them. It's like the society isn't set up to help us be able to have patience and to learn how to do things. So we just want to control everything, and we want everything now.
Yeah, but it hasn't been like this forever. I mean,
No.
since I was young, we actually cared about our wallets and how much money we had.
Yeah, I would agree. It's been a slow, steady change, and one way to think about it is, you know, if you drop a frog in boiling water, it's going to jump out. But if you put a frog in water and you slowly turn the temperature up, it's going to boil and not jump out. And I think that's what's happened with our economies and the global system. Is it has slowly been changing since the 60s and 70s, and we're on a trajectory and a path that they keep giving us more, and we keep driving towards more of the same, with no way of trying to divert it or get back off of it.
Yeah.
So then, to your question, how do we grow in Christ? Which is, I think, slowly. Like everything else in our life is trying to do super fast. Is like, we need to be patient with ourselves in growing with Christ. Like, just ask the question and reflection, am I closer in my relationship to God and living out a Christ-like resemblance in the world today than I was 5 years ago? Mm-hmm. When you can say yes, awesome. All right, so now how do I continue on that trajectory so that 5 years from now, I am going to be more Christ-like and bringing more salt and light into the world than I am today? Okay, what behaviors do I need to do to help me do that? And then give myself grace for when, oh yeah, you know, I'm working on my anger issues and then I just had a blow up. Okay, I'm better than I was 5 years ago. I had a bad day. I had a bad week, whatever it is. I had a bad interaction with one person. I'm struggling in that area. I think we have so much that the world changes really, really fast that we want our walk with Christ to change really, really fast. Does that make sense, Supersonic? Does that help you?
Yeah, it's easy for us to get caught up in the we want things now, or we think that it's gonna work out this way, when
right,
like sometimes it doesn't even make sense to us how God uses something, and it's like, well, when you look at it how God used it, this was actually better than we thought it would turn out to be, kind of thing.
Yeah, well, and that can even be the global things you were bringing up too. Like, I was just like, before we jumped on the call, I was in a prayer group talking about a refugee camp in Malawi that, I might have my numbers wrong, but I think this is what the accurate numbers were, was built for 60,000 people, and they are at 300,000 people in that refugee camp. And the
for 3,000 and what?
No, they're built for 60,000 people, and they have 300,000 people.
Oh,
so
they got a lot more than they should.
Oh yeah, like way more than they should, and so the needs aren't being met in the camp. They cannot get jobs in Malawi. They cannot go into Malawi. They are only allowed to be in the refugee camp. So in the last week, and a lot of these are from South Sudan, because they're fleeing from the violence and war there. So they're refugees. Yeah. There was a group of a couple of thousand that just decided to, let's walk back to Sudan. If we die in our own country, we die, but it's better than living here in hopelessness. with not having enough food, not knowing if we're going to have food, not knowing when life will get better. Let's just go back. Let's just risk our lives and maybe we die, because that's better than living with no hope. So I get you when you talk about how do you have control? How do you not have, like, I want to fix that solution today, but I also want to fix that solution so it doesn't happen. How do you change the hearts and minds of people that are at war with each other, that are going to go to war, or governments to fix the solution and say, quit worrying about people coming into your country from another place. They need help. We need to help.
Control, yeah.
Yeah, control again is the thing. Yeah.
It's like we need to. Is it comparable, or is it in context here? Give to Caesar that which belongs to Caesar, and give to God what belongs to God. When it comes to, He'll take care of the problem that we're facing, as long as we give it to Him and let Him take care of it in the way that we trust, and let Him do what only He can do.
I'm not sure. That's an interesting question. On some level, like I hear that situation and I'm like, I can't change it. I can't do anything to make that situation different in the short term for the people that are there right now. I can't change it. So where and how can I, if I'm compelled by that, go find refugees in my local area to try to make a change or a difference for them? Where can I impact my local connection that I do have the ability to do stuff instead of walking on past? If I have a local homeless problem, or I have a local food problem, or there's a local no place for kids to hang out after school. I'm just trying to throw problems out there, to say, hey, there's lots of options, and we usually just walk past them. Here's one I only heard about today. I didn't know it was ongoing because there's so much overwhelming news that we just kind of stop listening and don't want to act, and then our governments don't hear from us, and so they make their own decisions in their own best interests. And we're back to where we started in the beginning of this conversation a little bit.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like, if we don't say something or do something, nothing's going to change. But if it's out of our control also, like, at what point do we trust in the Lord and allow Him to move? Because other people might be stubborn, or we can't solve something, and we seek Him for guidance, or like that kind of thing.
Yeah. And I hope, Bob, I understand you were just commenting on the auto, and you know what? It's just one of those weird timings where all the timers lined up in the same of after so many messages or so many minutes, and then all of a sudden just went ting 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 ting. So sorry about that. And Romans,
I don't see those on the Stream Together chat. The Stream Together chat doesn't show that.
Yeah, it doesn't show the Streamlabs stuff. Yep. Romans, the point about becoming more Christ-like, you found that when we emphasize the cost of discipleship and evangelism, we're more likely to set the stage for a yes salvation now, but with an understanding that it requires steady process of sanctification instead of a cheapened grace the church in the U.S. tends to put forth. Yeah, and I think a lot of what we sometimes see, evangelism, is simply selling fire insurance, and I'm being flippant in the way I say that, I know. I'm doing that to make a point.
Fire insurance?
Like, I'm not going to hell. I've got my fire insurance. So I won't. You've not heard that term before?
No.
Okay. You've used that. Fire insurance is not the gospel. Yeah. So it's like, I'm not going to hell, but I don't have to actually love my neighbor. I put my faith and trust in Jesus, but I'm not going to change the way I live. I've got my I believe in Jesus attitude. So we somewhat sell it of, huh?
I think that's another solid thing to talk about, is trusting, like allowing God to move in our lives rather than just staying where we are.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Boy, this has been a great conversation, but But we've been here for 2.5 hours almost, Supersonic. So I'm gonna say let's just kind of give final thoughts. Otherwise, we're gonna end up here another couple hours, and I do have some things I need to get done today before I head to my mom's tomorrow. So
before we close this, I'll paste this in the chat, and you can read some very good news.
okay, a constitutional amendment in March recognized Papua New Guinea as a Christian country with specific mention of God the Father, Jesus Christ, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and the Bible as a national symbol. Oh, interesting. Yeah. I had a friend in seminary that had been a missionary in Papua New Guinea.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right.
Where is that, Papua New Guinea?
Near Indonesia.
Small island.
So north of Australia.
Okay.
Supersonic, last thoughts?
I think when it comes to walking with the Lord and trying to grow in our relationship with Him, it's definitely a process that can't happen overnight. It's still something we need to grow in and learn every day. But I think when it comes to trusting and giving Him control of what we can or can't, like what my last question was I think like as we grow in Him, as we get older and stronger in Him, like I think in Romans it talks about when we look to Him for strength, or when we do what is good, it becomes a little easier to do that. It becomes a little easier to grow in the positive, but at the same time, it's just as easy to get back into a stubbornness and more difficult to seek after Him when you go your own way too. And one over the other, the flesh versus the spirit, is going to be easier depending on which you feed, which you give more credence. I think cadence would be a word to that.
Yeah, either one would be fine. Cadence would be the rhythm of things, or credence would be attributing to. So either one works.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Romans is adding, surrender has to be daily, if not more. Yeah, like to take up your cross daily and follow me. That it is not a once for all take up your cross and I don't have to carry it anymore. I did it. I'm done. It's that ongoing expectation of things. And one of just kind of piggyback on that, I think at times one of the things that maybe we don't do such a good job that all overlaps in here is we create an environment in the church at times which only shows that I do all good and never talk about the bad that we do. We end up focusing only on, I went and fed the poor. I went and did something else. I'm going to go do these things. I don't have any problems in my life. So people coming in that are new don't know that the walk is hard. And then when it is hard, we don't give you opportunities to share about the walk is hard. And we don't leave room for people to make mistakes. Therefore, when you feel like you're struggling, you're like, am I the only one? Why is it so hard for me? And I think we need to do a better job of sharing that it is hard and that all of us struggle. It's one of the reasons, like, I don't know why we've got to this point, but it's like, go read the Bible and read about everybody having a struggle, because Abraham had struggles, Moses had struggles, David had struggles, Paul and Peter had struggles. I mean, they're constantly people with struggles, and we get all of the awful things that they did included, and yet we want to pretend we have no struggles. Yeah, exactly. Why are we going to do small group discussions on stream? We do that all the time. Exactly.
But at least we have other people helping us and that we can turn to, not just walking on this road alone.
Yes. Absolutely. That really is the key, is the walking together with other people, not being in isolation, not doing it alone. We might need solitude, and solitude would be alone time or alone time with God. But isolation is where I'm keeping people away. Solitude is temporary, isolation is ongoing. All right, we got ads going to come rolling in for the last
song.
Sorry, what?
It's like how that song says, "We were never meant to walk this road alone.
Yeah.
It'll all be worth it. So just hold on."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, we got ads rolling in for the last time. We'll go to Fish, and then we'll find somebody to raid out to.
Flat Cap Pastor Ox's tweet. Streaming life by
Thanks, Supersonic.
I like being part of these. I like the podcasts like this. Even though I've gotten myself into streaming a little bit, I like being able to do a Bible talk like this.
Yeah.
Probably not another one until after the new year because of how busy I'm gonna be in that. But
oh, that's okay. I can't do them all the time either. I'm 2 a week is the max that I want to do, but 1 is the steadiness that I can maintain.
Flat Cap Pastor shows the way. Stream it live, come what may.
he's probably gonna go till 4 o'clock with Christian Ninja.
I was just looking at Christian Ninja, yeah.
Little fish, both big and small.
Like I said before, I want to try to raid people that are connected with Reach right now. So I haven't raided him in a while. I know he took a break, so I would definitely think that let's go raid Christian Ninja.
He's doing a lot better than he was. I've been hearing some of the story, but I think you're filled in too.
Oh yeah, I know all the backstory. We've been in a prayer group together for several years, so I know more than has been shared with Stream even. So
yeah.
So yeah, let's definitely go
nice
and.
That he has. It's nice that he has someone he can look to on that, rather than being like.
Yeah, there's.
He has you and others to help him.
Yeah. Yep. There's a couple of different groups that we intersect with him. I'm in a pastor group with him. I'm also in a prayer group with him that's separate from that has some people from Reach and Hopeful Disasters and Taco together in there. So. All right, so
I'm excited to see some new people that I don't know or know little about online.
All right, let me give a blessing to everybody because I like to do that. I don't usually do it on the podcast. I just do it on my channel. So may God's seeking comfort find you. May his loving arms bind you. May his might protect you. May his wisdom direct you. May the joyous love of Jesus Christ be with you and all those you know, both now and forevermore. Amen. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out with us. Thank you, Supersonic, for redeeming the stream together and giving us some topics to talk about. Christopher, thank you for coming on and joining the conversation. And thank you, everybody, for hanging out with me.
You're welcome.
All right, we're going to go raid Christian Ninja. So let's bring him some love today, everybody. And you won't see me again streaming until Monday will be the next time. So have a great, wonderful rest of this week, everybody.
You too.
Flat cap on his head, he's streaming live. Reading from the book, the word's so alive. A prayer in his heart that lifts the soul. In the digital world where spirits roll. Hallelujah, from the screen we in the holy dream, spreading love with every verse he reads, planting hope like precious seeds. He's a shepherd with a virtual flock,